Hi, my name is Jessica Cahalan, and my virus for the medical microbiology project was the herpes simplex virus 1. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see. So, what is herpes simplex 1? Well, there are two types of herpes simplex 1 and herpes simplex 2. Herpes simplex 1, my project is more of cold sores that are on the face and around the mouth and mucosal areas. Um, and then herpes simplex 2 is what is called genital herpes, while herpes simplex 1 can can transfer onto the genital area. It is not considered herpes simplex 2. Herpes simplex 2 is strictly on the genitals, and it can, of course, be in the oral area if, of course, it is contaminated there. But again, they are different, but they can be on the face or on the genital area. But herpes simplex 1, typically, they're called also known as HSV, or fever blisters or cold sores, and they are an extremely contagious virus that can appear around the mouth and other parts of the face, mainly around the nose and eye area, anywhere that has a little bit of mucus and the virus can cling to. And cold sores are fluid-filled blisters that are extremely painful. And once you get one infection one time, it will stay with you for the rest of your life. And it does stay dormant, um, so it will come and go. Sometimes you'll go months or years without having a breakout, but then sometimes it'll just come randomly or when something triggers it. All right, next slide. Let's see. The background of herpes simplex virus 1. Let's see. The morphology of the herpes simplex virus. The virus is a spherical and is enclosed in a capsid or envelope. Let's see. As you can see here, oh, okay, sorry. Let me try to do this. As you can see here, that's the envelope, and it has about 162 capsomeres, which are these things, or what they want to call envelope proteins. Let's see, it is surrounded by a double-stranded DNA genome. And let's see. Then, after that, there is a nucleocapsid that is covered by a lipid envelope. Then the tegument is an amorphous layer of proteins that are surrounded by the capsid. And the tegument is right here, as you can see. And again, that's the morphology. Now for the arrangement of the herpes simplex. Let's see. So it is, again, a spherical virus with glycoproteins, which are the spikes that we saw. And it's sticking out from the envelope, and you can kind of see it from underneath a microscope right here. These are kind of the glycoproteins that are sticking out from it right here, and then you see right here, again, the DNA, and then the envelope, and then the glycoproteins right here. All right. And then the pathogenesis. So for a primary infection, the very first time someone were to be infected with the virus, and is again exposed to the mucosal surface or an abraded surface. So anywhere that you typically will get mucus, or if you have a cut in your skin or a scratch or something like that, that's a perfect area for the herpes simplex virus to enter. That's how it starts. But again, you have to be in contact with the herpes simplex virus to get it for the primary infection. And then once the primary infection happens, the capsid is transported through retrograde to dorsal root ganglia, and then after one more round of the replication latency is established. So basically that means you will have it for the rest of your life. Again, it will be dormant, so it will come and go. Just however, whatever the situation is, maybe you're really stressed out or something, then it'll reappear. And let's see, for reoccurring virus, when the virus is latent and reappears, it may be from one of many triggers, such as, let's see, stress causes it, having too much sun, or let's see, female's menstruation cycle, and many other things. A lot of people get cold sores when they're extremely mentally stressed out and exhausted. I know that tends to happen a lot. And here you can see where this one is the primary infection, and this is if someone were to be having the reoccurring that already has it and lays dormant. So this is the primary infection, and then this is the reactivated one. All right. And the history of the herpes simplex virus. So the herpes virus has been around since ancient Greek times, and it's where the Greek word for herping means to creep or move slowly, and that's where they got the word herpes, because it creeps onto your skin or moves slowly appears on your face or wherever it may be. Let's see, and actually an emperor back in Rome banned kissing to try and stop the spread of everyone getting cold sores, because at one point everyone was getting cold sores, so the emperor put a ban on kissing. But I guess he saw that it was very contagious from person to person. Also, Shakespeare, in his famous writing of Romeo and Juliet, he says something along the lines of, "O'er ladies' lips with blistered plague." So then even when Shakespeare was alive and back then, herpes simplex 1, cold sores, were still a thing. So it's been around for a very, very long time. Let's see. And the history of research and treatments. It was not until the 20th century before more research was being put into the herpes simplex virus. I don't know why they didn't start earlier. I know they realized that it was very contagious earlier. I don't know if they had, the proper materials or equipment to do all that research, but around the 1960s, the antiviral therapies were started with medicine that interfered with the replication of the virus, also known as DNA inhibitors, which then they were able to turn into a topical. So if you didn't need to take or want to take pills, you could just put a topical on the blister and then just reapply, and hopefully it'll go away. I mean, all right. And then let's see, the current news and research. So there is a gene therapy that shows a decrease of 90% in latent viruses. So I believe it was in August of 2020, an article was released that there was a scientist, they used 2 sets of genetic scissors to damage that DNA of the virus, and it targets the sensory nerves that are from the neck and face where typically HSV1 is at. So they get to the tissue, they damage that sensory nerves where to get to the tissue where the virus lays dormant. So they damage that tissue. So I guess it kills the virus. And then they're hoping it never comes back. And I believe that they were able to actually do it successfully on one human being for the herpes simplex virus, one to not come back by doing this, by damaging the tissue and nerve. All right, and the signs and symptoms of HSV1. So the symptoms is you'll start when it first starts, maybe within a few days or so, you'll start feeling a tingling, itching, or burning sensation. And then that'll appear when the virus starts attacking your cells. So that's a very first symptom. And then the signs is once the tingling starts, you will notice a fluid-filled blister. It projects from the skin, and then it will crust over, and then there will be some liquid or pus oozing from it. Gross, I know. But then lesions appear on top of the blister, so it's kind of like there's little dots, just like so. Here's the blister, and then there's just little dots everywhere on top of that blister, and then those kind of get scraped, and then they ooze the liquid. And that liquid inside there and all of this is extremely contagious. And so without medicine or treatment, I would say the herpes simplex 1 will take anywhere from 7 to 14 days to completely be gone and be cleared. But with treatment, there's antivirals and topicals that are able to be used now and that kill the virus before forming. I know a very popular antiviral is Valtrax, and I know a topical is Denavir. I personally use those, and they really, once you see a cold or feel a cold sore forming, you just apply it, and then it takes care of everything, and you will not be suffering with a cold sore for 14 days, more like 4 days once you take it, and it just completely disappears. And here is my works cited page, and I got all my references from here. Thank you for listening to me today. I was very happy to do this project, and thank you guys, and you have a wonderful day.